We all talk about how female friendships can be life-saving, the absolute bedrock of our lives. But if we're being honest, they can also be a total minefield, full of unspoken rules, quiet competitions, and, yeah, hidden rivalries. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on that uncomfortable, often unspoken side of sisterhood.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Look at these two sentences. The first one sounds like genuine concern, right? Like a friend who's really worried. The second one? It's just openly catty. But here's the kicker. They both achieve the exact same goal, spreading damaging information. The first one is just wrapped in a pretty bow of sympathy. It's a classic tactic to hurt someone's reputation while still looking like the good guy.
And this whole dynamic, this clever way of gossiping, it really points to a much bigger question that we're going to unpack. Why is it that female friendships so often feel like they're walking this tightrope between intense, I would die for you loyalty, and this simmering, under-the-surface rivalry?
To really get to the bottom of this, we have to go back, like way, way back. We need to look at the deep-seated evolutionary pressures our female ancestors were under, because the challenges they faced have left this kind of invisible blueprint on how we relate to each other, even today.
See, for most of human history, the survival game looked totally different for men and women. For men, it was often about direct competition for status and resources. But for women, well, their survival and their children's survival was very often tied to securing a committed, high-quality partner, someone who could provide and protect. And right there, that's where it gets really complicated, because this dependency automatically created a competitive dynamic. If a woman's security and future were tied to her partner, then suddenly other women in the group weren't just neighbors. They were potential rivals for the very things she needed to survive.
So what did this competition actually look like? Well, historically, when men were looking for a long-term partner, they tended to prioritize signs of youth, health, and fertility. And all of these things are communicated through, you guessed it, physical appearance. All of a sudden, the competition wasn't just about survival. It was about being seen as the most attractive, the most valuable potential partner in the group.
Now, you have thousands and thousands of years of this reality. It literally shaped a female psychology that's highly, highly sensitive to rivals. So even though today most of us don't need a partner for our literal survival, that ancient programming, that instinct to spot and maybe even neutralize a competitor, well, it can still get triggered.
So, how does this ancient wiring actually show up now, in the modern world? Well, the competition hasn't disappeared, not at all. It's just evolved. While women are, on the whole, less physically aggressive, that competitive drive finds another path. It's what researchers call indirect aggression. You can think of it as a social battlefield, where the weapons aren't fists, but words, secrets, and social exclusion. And just think about it for a second. These tactics are probably all too familiar. Spreading rumors, deliberately leaving someone out of the group, cyberbullying. These are the modern weapons of female competition. And the goal is exactly the same as it's always been. Damage a rival's reputation and social standing to make them less of a threat. Okay, but competition is only half of the story. If that's all there was to it, female friendships just wouldn't exist. Because there's another, equally powerful force at play here, and that is the fact that women are also each other's greatest allies. So this is the core conflict, the central paradox. On one hand, you have that evolutionary pressure to compete, but on the other hand, you have this absolutely critical need to cooperate. I mean, you've heard it takes a village, right? Women have always relied on each other for childcare, for protection, and for the kind of deep emotional support that we now know is vital to our health and happiness. And because that allyship is so vital, women tend to hold their friendships to incredibly high standards. The focus is on deep trust, genuine empathy, unwavering loyalty, and consistent support. You know, a friendship that doesn't have these things usually doesn't last very long. So we've got this constant push and pull between competition and cooperation. Given this incredibly complex dynamic, what is it that separates the friendships that truly thrive from the ones that, eventually just fall apart? Let's start with the red flags, the kinds of friendships that tend to fizzle out. You've got the emotional dumper, who basically uses you as a free therapist, the friend who just can't seem to be genuinely happy for your wins, the one who is always in a state of crisis, pulling you into their drama, or the one who disappears the second a guy shows them any attention. They all lack that one crucial ingredient, mutual, two-way support.
So what about the friendships that do last? They're built on a foundation that's simple, but so powerful. You genuinely like each other. You're actually truly happy for each other's happiness. There's consistency, reliability, and this deep mutual caring that isn't about what you can get from the other person. It's just real friendship for its own sake.
And sometimes the true power of this allyship is completely unspoken. This anecdote just captures it perfectly. A woman is at a dinner feeling belittled by her date when she just happens to catch the eye of another woman across the table, a near stranger. And in that one single look, she feels this wave of complete understanding. That girl knew. That is the incredible power of true solidarity.
So what's the ultimate takeaway from all of this? Look, understanding the evolutionary roots of our competitive instincts isn't a free pass for bad behavior. It's not an excuse. What it is a tool for self-awareness. It helps us recognize these ancient tendencies when they pop up in ourselves and in others so we can consciously choose cooperation over conflict. We can choose support over sabotage. It empowers us to be better, more intentional friends to each other.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, smash that like button, drop a comment, share with your crew, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you never miss a daily update.